In a previous video, we went over how to break down a whole turkey into its individual parts. That way we can treat them differently and cook them more evenly. In this video, I'm going to show you how to debone a turkey leg and thigh so we can later turn it into a roulade. Now, your first step is to cut down on top of the turkey bone, on the underside of the leg and thigh. And you want to do this with both the thigh bone and the leg bone. So see, I'm just cutting straight down right on top, and this is going to expose the bone. Now I'm going to go through and cut alongside each bone. Now here's the deal when you're fabricating any meat or trying to debone it. To get maximum yield, as long as you are cutting along the bone and angling your knife towards that bone, you're going to get a good yield. So notice here how I'm holding my knife in a modified pinch grip to where I'm pinching the blade with my thumb and middle finger, and then I have my index finger on top of the spine of the blade. And this means anywhere I point my finger, the knife tip goes. So this is nice for scraping that meat off of the leg and thigh bone and releasing it. Now, once you get to a point where you can slide your knife underneath the tip of the leg bone, it's going to detach that skin as shown, and then continue to just slice up the bone. Again, always angling your knife towards the bone. So that way you're scraping the meat from the bone and releasing it. Now you're going to continue this scraping until you get to a point where you have pretty much all of the leg and thigh meat detached, and the only thing hanging on is that knee joint. So you're going to, again, attack it from both sides, the leg bone side and the thigh bone side, until the meat is just attached to the knee joint. Now from here, you're just going to go through and run your knife in between the bone and the cartilage of that knee. Now, if a little bit of the cartilage hangs on to the flesh of the meat, it's not a big deal because you just go back and trim that off later. Right now, you're trying to completely remove the leg and thigh without puncturing the skin, so this way we can roll it up into a nice roulade later. Now, at this point, you have the major leg and thigh bones out and detached, but here we need to also take out the feather bones, and the feather bones are calcified tendons that you can't eat, and they're not going to break down during the cooking process. And this, to me, is the most important part of making a turkey roulade, or just deboning the turkey in general before you cook it. These feather bones always get in the way, and I love gnawing on the turkey leg, but then you get down to that portion where it contains all these feather bones, and you're just picking a bunch of bones out constantly, and you can no longer enjoy it. So here we're just going to, again, slide the knife underneath these feather bones and detach them from the turkey leg and thigh. And you get to a point where you see here, I have a little bit of a larger piece. I'm just going to scrape it off. So these are all tough bones. So as you take your knife edge, you can scrape them along these feather bones and detach them. So even if you're not going to make a roulade, this is still a nice step because you can take this leg and thigh, and once you remove the feather bones, you can marinate it, sear it, roast it, put it on your barbecue grill, even deep fry it. And this way you can enjoy the delicious leg and thigh meat without having to constantly pick out those feather bones while you're eating it. Now in our next video, I'm going to show you how to take this deboned turkey leg and thigh and turn it into a beautiful roulade. For this episode's show notes, check out stellaculinary.com/CKS45.